Kyle ran through the dense forest of ViewerShip, his feet barely making a sound on the thick moss and fallen leaves. The wind carried the faint scent of danger, a pack of shadow beasts hunting far too close for his liking. He leapt over a fallen tree, landing silently, his instincts honed from years of training with the Fox Warriors, the elite protectors of his clan. Yet now he was alone, exiled, and hunted by his own people. Kyle's tail twitched, a sign of both agitation and focus. He remembered the accusation that had torn his life apart: betrayal. A false charge that painted him as a coward and a traitor. His clan had been ambushed at the border of their territory, and someone had claimed Kale had led the enemy to them. He knew the truth. He had fought bravely, but no one listened. Honor, once the foundation of his life, had been stripped away. Now survival was all that mattered. The forest was both friend and enemy. Kale used the trees and rocks as shields, listening to the distant howls. He moved with a grace only a fox warrior could manage. Every step calculated, every movement silent. His senses, far sharper than any human's, scanned the terrain. The forest seemed alive, whispering secrets of danger and opportunity. As night fell, the forest became a darker labyrinth. Kale found a hollowed-out tree to rest in. He crouched inside, tail curled around him, and listened. The shadows outside danced in the moonlight, and the cries of distant creatures echoed through the woods. He was careful, alert. Sleep was dangerous here, and yet exhaustion tugged at him. A sudden noise broke the quiet, a metallic clang, unnatural in these woods. Kale's ears twitched. Someone was here. He slipped out of the hollow silently, blending with the shadows. Ahead, the moonlight revealed a figure, human, struggling near a small wreckage. Kale watched cautiously. Humans were rare on ViewerShip and often unpredictable. This one was smaller than him, with messy dark hair and clothes torn from the fall. Kale's first instinct was to flee, but curiosity held him in place. The human appeared injured but determined. She lifted pieces of a broken device, muttering to herself. Kyle stepped closer, his presence suddenly noticeable. The human froze, her eyes wide with fear. Who's there?" she whispered. Kyle kept his distance, studying her. "I am Kyle," he said, his voice low and cautious. "You should not be here. This forest is dangerous." The human blinked, relief and confusion mixing on her face. I'm Lena. My ship crashed. I need to fix it, or I won't survive the night." Kyle narrowed his eyes. Lena, a human engineer trying to survive on an alien world. Normally, he would have turned away. His kind had been taught to avoid humans. They were unpredictable, fragile, and often caused problems. Yet there was something in her determination that reminded him of himself before exile. "You cannot do this alone," Kyle said. "The forest, it will kill you if you are careless." Lena's eyes searched his face, hesitation and curiosity flickering. "And you are?" "An exiled fox warrior," Kyle replied, not hiding the title but leaving the shame behind. "I know how to survive here. I can help you. If you follow my instructions." She nodded quickly, relief softening her features. Kale moved first, silently guiding her through the forest, pointing out hidden dangers. A pit covered with leaves, a venomous vine curling around a tree, the distant growl of predators. Lena listened carefully, adjusting quickly, showing resourcefulness Kale hadn't expected from a human. As they moved, Kale noticed the human's ingenuity. She repaired broken straps on her pack, crafted a makeshift spear from a tree branch, and even created a small trap to catch a rodent for food. Kale had always underestimated humans, believing them fragile and weak. Lena was proving him wrong. Night deepened, and the forest seemed to close around them. Kale led Lena to a small clearing beside a stream. The water was clear and fresh, safe to drink. Lena knelt, cupping the water in her hands while Kale remained alert, scanning the shadows. "You are not like the others," Lena said quietly. "Your people. The Fox Warriors. They feared me." Kale nodded. "Humans are unpredictable. My clan prefers to avoid them. But you are different. You survive, adapt, you think?" She smiled faintly, exhaustion evident. "I have to. I have no choice." They settled beside the stream, Kale keeping watch while Lena attempted to rest. The bond between them, fragile and unspoken, began to form. Kale realized he didn't feel the usual suspicion he did around humans. Perhaps it was her courage, or perhaps it was the loneliness of exile that made him crave connection. Suddenly, the air shifted. A low growl came from the trees. Kale's muscles tensed. Lena stirred, eyes wide. "Stay behind me," Kyle commanded. "Do not move." A shadow emerged from the darkness, a shadow beast, one of the forest predators. Its eyes glowed faintly, teeth sharp, and it advanced silently. Kale stepped forward, ready to fight. Lena grabbed her makeshift spear, hands trembling but determined. The beast lunged. Kale moved faster, dodging with fluid grace, striking with precision. Lena threw her spear, grazing the creature's side. It roared, retreating into the shadows. Kale exhaled, tail flicking. "This forest does not forgive mistakes," he said. Lena nodded, awe and fear mingling on her face. "That was incredible," she whispered. "You saved me." Kyle said nothing, though a faint warmth spread through him. He had saved many before, but never a human. Something about this one made it different. They continued through the night, moving cautiously. Dawn broke, painting the forest in shades of gold and green. The danger had not passed, but for the first time since his exile, Kale felt a sense of purpose beyond survival. He had someone to protect, someone who could teach him as much as he taught her. By midday, they reached a small valley with abundant fruit trees and a freshwater spring. Kale gestured for Lena to rest. "You should eat," he said. "Energy is needed to survive here." Lena smiled, taking the food he offered. "Thank you, Kyle. I didn't expect to find a friend here." Kale hesitated. The word friend felt foreign, yet not unpleasant. He had always relied on strength and skill, not connection. But perhaps connection could be strength too. Hours passed as they rested. Lena repaired parts of her gear while Kale trained, stretching and sharpening his skills. They talked cautiously at first about survival, the forest and distant stars. Lena shared stories of Earth, of humanity's resilience and creativity. Kale listened, fascinated by the strange and vibrant species she described. Night came again, darker and colder. Kale sensed something approaching. Not animals, but something intelligent. Shadowed figures moved in the distance. Fox warriors from his own clan. They had tracked him, intending to confront him. Exile did not mean freedom from consequences. Kale prepared himself. Lena noticed his tension. "Who are they?" she asked. "Fox warriors," Kale said grimly. "They seek to punish the exiled. I must face them." Lena's hands tightened around a rope she had braided from vines. "I'll help you," she said. Kale shook his head. "This is my fight, but stay close, watch, learn. Perhaps your mind can see what my eyes cannot." The first fox warrior appeared, stepping into the clearing, eyes burning with judgment. Kale stood tall, not hiding, not apologizing. He had been hunted long enough to know fear would not save him. "You dare return to the forest?" the warrior demanded. "Exile is not a choice. You are a traitor." Kale's voice was calm. "I am not a traitor. I fight only to survive, as you always should have." The warrior lunged, claws extended. Kale dodged, countering with swift strikes. The fight was brief, precise, and efficient. Kale's movements were fluid, almost dance-like. The fox warrior, surprised by Kale's skill and calmness, faltered. Lena watched in awe, heart pounding. She noticed Kale's focus, his control, and the way he moved with purpose, not rage. Finally, Kale stood over his opponent, tail brushing the ground, eyes steady. "Leave," he said. "I do not wish to fight my own people, but I will survive." The warrior stared, then retreated. Kale exhaled, tension leaving him slowly. He turned to Lena. "You see," he said quietly, "strength alone is not enough. Wisdom, caution, and sometimes allies. These are what keep you alive." Lena nodded, respect shining in her eyes. "I see now. I'm glad I met you, Kale." Kale allowed himself a small smile, rare and fleeting. Perhaps exile had led him to something unexpected. An ally, a companion, a bond that could grow into trust. He had survived this long through skill alone, but maybe, just maybe, he could survive with someone at his side. As the night deepened, Kale and Lena prepared a small camp, fires low, silent but comforting. Kale kept watch while Lena slept, and in that quiet moment, he realized that survival had become more than enduring the forest. It had become learning to trust another being, a human, and finding a strange strength in that bond. The forest was far from safe, the human world far from understood, and Kale's past far from forgiven. Yet for the first time in a long while, hope flickered. A tiny flame against the dark, hinting at adventures yet to come. And so the exiled fox warrior and the human engineer sat side by side, under alien stars, each learning from the other, each ready to face the dangers that lay ahead. The unexpected bond had begun. The morning sun filtered through the thick canopy, casting golden light across the forest floor. Kale stretched, his muscles tense but ready, and glanced at Lena, who was already awake and inspecting her makeshift tools. The bond between them had grown overnight, silent but undeniable. Trust had begun to replace caution, and curiosity had taken root in both hearts. "We need to move," Kyle said, his tail flicking. "There are signs of patrols ahead. My clan searches for me daily. If they find us, it will not end well." Lena nodded, adjusting the strap of her pack. "I understand. But we can't keep hiding forever. I need to repair my ship if I want to survive here long term." Kyle led the way through the forest, alert to every sound. Birds, wind, distant animal calls, it was all information, feeding his heightened senses. Lena followed closely, her steps careful but confident. She had learned to navigate the alien forest thanks to Kale's guidance, and her ingenuity made them a stronger team. She even spotted a small trap Kale had missed, a testament to human cleverness. Hours passed. They came upon a steep ravine with a rushing river at the bottom. Kale crouched, observing the dangerous currents. "This is no place to cross without a plan," he said. "The current will sweep you away instantly." Lena studied the river, then smiled faintly. "I can build a bridge, temporary, but strong enough for us." She began gathering branches, vines, and large leaves, weaving them together with surprising speed. Kale watched, impressed. He had always relied on raw skill and speed, but here was someone using intellect and creativity to overcome nature itself. Within an hour, Lena had built a sturdy makeshift bridge. Kale tested it first, stepping carefully, then signaled for her to cross. The human moved with determination, placing each step carefully, and safely reached the other side. Kale's tail flicked in quiet approval. "Not bad," he said, a rare smile forming. "Humans may survive longer than I expected." Lena laughed softly. "And fox warriors may not be as rigid as I thought. You adapt when needed." Their laughter faded as shadows moved across the opposite bank. Kale's ears twitched. More of his clan, or perhaps scouts sent to capture him, were approaching. "We must be ready," he said, drawing a pair of short, sharp blades from his belt. Lena gripped her spear tightly, a mixture of fear and determination in her eyes. The first scout appeared, a tall, muscular fox warrior with piercing amber eyes. "Kyle," he called. "Return with us. You are a traitor, and your exile is permanent." Kale stepped forward, unafraid. "I am no traitor. I fight only to survive, and I fight to protect those who cannot protect themselves." The scout lunged. Kyle moved like water, dodging and countering with precise strikes. Lena flanked him, using her spear to create openings. The combination of Kale's skill and Lena's clever attacks forced the scout to retreat, wounded but alive. "You fight differently with her," the scout said, recognition and surprise in his tone. "What are you doing?" Kale's tail flicked. "I am no longer fighting for them. I fight for survival and for friendship." The scout retreated, signaling for the others to fall back. Kale exhaled, tension leaving his body slowly. Lena approached, examining him with a mix of admiration and concern. "You didn't have to fight like that alone," she said. "We are stronger together." Kyle looked at her, a warmth spreading through him he hadn't felt in years. "Perhaps strength is more than skill," he admitted. "Perhaps trust can be stronger." They moved deeper into the forest, seeking a place to rest and plan. Kyle had heard rumors of an abandoned fortress in the northern hills, a place where he might find evidence of the real traitor who had framed him. If they could locate this evidence, Kale could clear his name and reclaim his honor without returning to the clan immediately. The journey was perilous. The forest seemed alive, testing them at every step. They crossed cliffs, evaded predator packs, and navigated dense, thorn-filled undergrowth. Lena's intelligence and resourcefulness continued to impress Kale. She fashioned traps, repaired injuries, and even identified edible plants he had overlooked. One evening, as they rested near a small waterfall, Lena spoke quietly. "Kyle, do you ever regret trusting me?" Kale considered, tail brushing the damp ground. "Trust is dangerous, but I also know what it is to survive without companionship. You make life less lonely," Lena smiled. "I feel the same. I never thought I'd survive here, and yet, with you, I feel capable. Stronger." Their conversation was interrupted by movement in the trees above. Kale's ears twitched. A group of shadow beasts larger and faster than any they had seen stalked them. He signaled Lena to remain still. The beasts circled, eyes glowing in the moonlight. Kale's mind raced. "We cannot fight them head-on," he whispered. "We must use strategy." He led Lena to a narrow ravine where the beasts could not maneuver easily. Lena placed traps strategically and Kale lured the beasts into them. When the first shadow beast lunged, Lena's trap triggered, ensnaring it. Kyle struck with precision, ensuring the creature could not escape. The fight was exhausting, but they survived. Lena collapsed on the ground, breathing heavily. Kale crouched beside her. "You are brave," he said softly. "Not just strong, but brave." She laughed weakly. "And you are more than I imagined. Not just skillful, but patient and wise." The next day they reached the northern hills. Hidden among the rocks was the ancient fortress Kale had heard about. It was overgrown, forgotten, and abandoned, but still formidable. Kale entered cautiously, sensing the remnants of traps and defenses from ages past. Lena followed, examining the ruins with awe. Inside, they discovered records, digital logs left by scouts from Kale's clan. Among them were details of the ambush that had led to Kale's exile. As Lena sifted through the data, she found evidence of the real traitor, a fox warrior who had manipulated events to frame Kale. Kale's eyes narrowed. "So the truth is here. All I need is proof to show my clan." Lena nodded. "And you can do it without violence. Let them see the evidence, and they will have no choice but to respect you." Kale paused. The thought of returning to the clan, even with proof, filled him with unease. Exile had changed him, yet he knew that clearing his name could prevent future conflict and protect others from false accusations. They devised a plan. Lena would help Kyle transmit the evidence using her repaired communications device. The signals would reach the clan leaders, undeniable and clear. Kale would remain in the forest, avoiding direct confrontation, letting truth and reason take the lead. As they prepared the device, the traitor appeared, an older fox warrior, eyes filled with malice. "Kale," he hissed, "you think you can escape justice?" Kale stepped forward, calm but firm. "I do not seek revenge. I seek truth. Your lies end now." The traitor lunged, but Lena's quick thinking and traps slowed him. Kale moved with precision, disarming the traitor without causing permanent harm. The human engineer and the fox warrior worked in tandem, combining intellect and skill in a way neither species had expected. Finally, the evidence transmitted. Kale's name was cleared, his honor restored. The traitor was forced to retreat, unable to deny the proof. Kale felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He had survived exile, gained an unexpected ally, and reclaimed his place without shedding unnecessary blood. Lena looked at him, eyes bright with admiration. "You did it," she said softly. "You proved who you are." Kale nodded, a faint smile on his lips. "And I did not do it alone. You helped me see what I was missing. Trust, patience, companionship. Perhaps that is what makes us truly strong." The bond between the exiled fox warrior and the human engineer had grown stronger than either could have imagined. They had faced danger, learned from each other, and survived where others would have failed. A new chapter of life had begun, not defined by exile or fear, but by friendship, trust, and mutual respect. Kyle decided to remain in the forest, not out of fear, but choice. He had a new purpose: to explore, to survive, and to continue learning from Lena. She too chose to stay longer, fascinated by the world of the fox warriors and eager to learn more about their culture and abilities. Together, they stood at the edge of a cliff overlooking the vast forest, sunlight reflecting off the distant mountains. Kyle's tail flicked and Lena adjusted her pack, ready for whatever came next. "Are you ready for whatever comes?" she asked. Kale's eyes glinted with determination. "With you, I am ready for anything." And so the exiled fox warrior and the human engineer began a new journey, not just as survivor and ally, but as partners in discovery, learning, and mutual respect. Their bond had begun unexpectedly, but it had grown into something neither could have anticipated. A bond that would carry them through the perils of VeraPrime and beyond. A true testament to strength, courage, and the unexpected power of connection. The forest around them seemed quieter now, as if acknowledging the bond between two very different beings who had found unity and trust and understanding. Their adventure was far from over, but the path forward was theirs to walk, together. And so, under the alien sky, Kale and Lena walked forward, ready to face whatever new challenges awaited, stronger together than they had ever been apart.